Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Dur Red 9-inch PI. This is a 9-inch pressure intensifier lift spring. This is the model that is sold per intensifier without any brackets. Well, there would only be two brackets. There would be the one that would attach to the upper lid, and then the boot that's mounted to the, or is welded actually to the sidewall. But assuming that you need only pressure intensifiers or lifting mechanisms, and the bracket to the lid is okay, and the bracket on the sidewall is there, then you would avoid purchasing those. There would be no need for them. So when you purchase the 9-inch PI, pressure intensifier, that's what Dur Red calls it, you are buying these two telescoping tubes, that washer that just fell out, the spring, and then the bottom telescoping tube. There's another washer down in there. Okay. And then you're going to get the nut and bolt that will attach the top portion to your bracket that is attached, screwed to the lid. So let's take a look at these tubes. Now it's a 9-inch pressure intensifier because that's the length of the tube. It's nominally 8-inch. It's actually just a bit heavy on that. But the top tube, it's about 9 1/4. We're going to go over all the dimensional properties of this item. Okay, and then the diameter of the tube, 1.511. 1.511 inch. Now the lower tube, that's going to have a length about 9 1/4. That's going to have a diameter of 1.384. 1.384. These two washers that fit inside of there, all they're doing is keeping the spring in their tube. Those have a diameter of 1.255. 1.255. We'll just take those and drop them in there so that they kind of fall where they need to go. Put that spring in there, and they're definitely going to find home, so to speak. Now that spring, that is oily, smelly, and all other words used to describe foul. Spring, the wire diameter is 0.182. 0.182 wire diameter. It's going to have an outside diameter .157. 1.157. It's going to have an overall length grease is tough to get off. And you're never going to really come in contact with this anyway, but an overall length of 16.5 inch. Okay. Very common question that we get from our clients is, what is the, what's the size of the spring? The answer is we really don't know anything beyond what the spring is like when it's installed. Pardon me, we don't know anything really about the spring other than when it ships uncompressed, like the state that it's in now. I would say that that bolt is 3/8. That might be a little heavy on 3/8. No, it's 3/8. That bolt's probably 3/8 by 3/4 maybe. Yeah, 3/8 by 3/4. Typical zinc-coated screw for attaching that to the underside of the bracket. Let's take a dimension of that bracket. The point is of all these dimensions is to help you determine if this is accurately what you need. Overall projection, about 4 inch. To the center of that hole, looks like it's about 3 7/16. Because what will happen is people will call and need a lifting mechanism or a shock or a pressure intensifier or an assist, a lid assist, a hatch assist. And the dimensions are meant to help determine if what you have is a Dur Red 9-inch pressure intensifier. or to help you determine that's absolutely not what you have. This unit is meant for installation on standard Dur Red roof hatch products, not any other products at all. People will call and say, I need a lifting mechanism. Here's a typical conversation. A client will need a replacement lifting mechanism. The first question is, who is the manufacturer of the roof hatch? I don't know. So then we request photos to be sent of us, and based on our experience, we can generally visually determine whose model it is based on photographs of the material, and also come up with a vintage of the item as well. How old do we expect it to be? At that point, we can then work with the individual manufacturers to determine what parts you need if we need to. Sometimes there is a serial number on the sidewall that would be very valuable for us to have, because then we can have the factory pull a bill of material to determine what that unit was built with originally. So when we get calls like this, we're very eager and happy to help determine what you need. However, there are times when a client will call and just want this hardware because they have an unknown roof hatch and it's difficult to help, or they have a homemade roof hatch and it's difficult to help, because the questions become, where do I mount this compared to this so that I get the proper spring compression and proper operation out of my roof hatch, the proper safe operation? And the answer is, we don't know. We don't do the engineering on this material, and we don't know the proper geometry to set those 2 points at. People will order material and call and say, hey, the roof hatch hardware doesn't work. Okay, whose roof hatch do you have? Oh, no, it's I made my own. Okay, so right there we know we could not have given any advice in terms of how they mount. And the client will say, when I open my roof hatch to past 90 degrees, the tubes leave each other. Yes, they certainly will, because roof hatches don't open quite that much. And in that sort of instance, we would tell the client, well, maybe reposition the 2 points so that they're closer together, and it will possibly not leave each other as you're opening the lid. Then sometimes the lid is only 40 pounds and the spring is a 180-pound rated spring. So it gets very difficult to be able to successfully install this material in these unknown applications. When you call the manufacturer for assistance, they sure want to help, but they're not going to engage in a conversation of helping engineer an application that they have no control over. They want to sell roof hatches rather than parts in that scenario, because it's all about safety. Having a roof hatch that is not properly equipped with hardware that will control that lid as it's engineered to, or keep the lid in the open position, or keep it sealed, or keep it locked. Someone might open that from the outside and then find that there's a long way down. So they're not interested in engaging in those conversations, selling roof hatches, because of safety, because of the way it's been tested and engineered. So this video is meant to help you determine if this is going to work, or absolutely if it will not. If you have a roof hatch, let us know what it is, or at least send us those photographs so we can help determine what it is and get you on the path of the proper material. There is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Dur Red products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog, where you can review roof hatch products from Dur Red, a company who is absolutely stellar when it comes to responsiveness to help assist getting clients the proper material for their application. Any questions on the Dur Red 9-inch PI or 9-inch pressure intensifier or any other Dur Red product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.